What is going on, my creation RNs? How are you doing, my future, my current, and my past RNs that are watching my videos? I have missed you guys so much. You have no idea. Please forgive the beautiful yellow background that's behind me. We just moved into a house, me and my husband, and we're in the process of renovating. Hopefully that wall will be changing colors soon so it's not as hideous behind me in my future videos. But otherwise, I wanted to come to you today. It's been a couple months since I've talked to you. I want to talk about what's the difference between getting your ADN versus your BSN. I get this question a lot. All the time I seem to get this question. What really is the benefit of having one versus the other? Is it going to help me in any way? What is it? So just to give you a background on me, I am an emergency room nurse. That is what I do. I went and got my bachelor's degree, which I currently hold, and I'm planning on going for my master's degree in the future. Now, you know, with my specialty, and I can't say it for every state, there's always exceptions, but I know in my particular hospital that I work in, they want nurses with bachelor's degrees because it is a specialty. ICU, OR, labor and delivery, any kind of like neonatal, pediatrics, a lot of those places want you to have your bachelor's degree, and it's just important that you eventually get one if those are areas that you're looking to go in or if you're looking to advance. But we're going to get into that a little bit later. So let's talk about what are the benefits, or I should say the pros and cons of getting your ADN. So let's talk about the prerequisites you would need. Usually you don't need as many classes as you would say with your bachelor's. So you still need your Englishes, you still need your little bit of humanities, your sciences, your anatomy and physiologies, your microbiologies, basic math, you know, college algebra, things of that nature, a couple foreign languages here and there, and that's about it. They don't really require much, so it's much more competitive to get into because mostly everybody can get that prerequisites done pretty quickly. It is less expensive and less time consuming. This is a degree that I'd like to say is the Get Quick Nurse program because, again, it's only 2 years. They teach you the basic fundamentals of how to be a nurse, and you are on your way. When you take your NCLEX, regardless if you have your BSN or regardless if you have your ADN, you are an RN. End of story. Period. So how about that bachelor's degree? What really is the difference? So, bachelor's degree takes you 4 years to complete. You're usually doing it at a university, or I know a lot of the private and technical schools sometimes offer the bachelor's degree as well. I personally, and again, this is my own personal opinion, I think that they are less competitive to get into, and here are the reasons why. So normally, with your bachelor's degree, they do require you to have a already pre-existing degree, and usually it's just a general studies, humanities, psychology, just kind of a general degree, because those degrees require you to take certain classes that are prerequisite requirements for the bachelor's degree. So, you know, your statistics, your chemistries, your anatomy, physiologies, they all have the same core prerequisites, but they're just more in depth. You have to take more humanities. You need to make sure that you take speech, and there's just a lot of additional things that you need to make sure that you take. Specifically, the statistics course was the #1 thing between my schools that I took. They are more expensive and more time consuming. So let me just give you a background about me. I did my bachelor's degree within 2 years. 2 years, Jennifer? Really? Yes, it's true. I did my bachelor's degree within 2 years. Let me explain to you how. So I attended both a 2-year college. I attended a state college as well as a 4-year college, a university at the exact same time. They call it dual enrollment in the state of Florida that I attend. I'm not sure if that's outside of the state of Florida, but I know in the state of Florida they offer it. So what happens is I take my associate's degree courses at the exact same time that I take my bachelor degree courses, which means I basically had no life for 2 years. Have you ever seen those memes where they talk about when your friends ask you, when is the next time that you're going to have time off? And then you give them your graduation date? Right here. So I feel your pain if you're doing dual enrollment. Keep it up though, because it's totally worth it in the end. But Now, in regards to it being more expensive and time consuming, yes, it is way more expensive and way more time consuming. You are taking way more classes than what you would need to take just doing your ADN. And of course, it's more time consuming because you're having to take more classes. A lot of the times with your ADN, you might only be taking, say, 2 classes a semester versus your bachelor's, they might have you taking 3 or 4 classes a semester. So yes, if you're ready to get your bachelor's degree and that's the route you're going, it is very difficult, and I wish you all the best of luck. So the last thing about the bachelor's degree is that you are prepared when you come out of college to start an advanced degree program, such as your nurse practitioner or your certified nurse anesthetist. There are a ton of people that go to nursing school because they have a goal in mind of what it is that they want to do. They either want to be a nurse practitioner, they want to be a nurse educator, they want to be a nurse manager, they want to get a degree in nursing executive leadership, or they want to go a completely different route and become a CNA, a certified nurse anesthetist. And that's great. But when you come out of school with your BSN, you are prepared to do that. Don't get me wrong now. If you have an ADN, you can still do master's classes, but you have to do an RN to MSN program, which takes much longer because you have to fulfill those bachelor degree courses. Okay, great. So now you know what it is that you want to do. Now you know which degree you want. What happens when I get out of school? Well, there's not really anything big that happens when you get out of school in regards to pay. Pay for associate degrees and pay for bachelor's degrees are almost one and the same. From my personal experience, having worked in a nursing education department for most of my healthcare career, it is really not that much of a difference. Pay is usually for like an ADN in Florida between $18 to like $22 an hour for an ADN, and it is $19 to $23 an hour usually for a bachelor's degree. So really, you're asking yourself, what the heck is the benefit in getting an associate's degree over a bachelor's degree? Doesn't make any sense to me. Well, I'm gonna tell you. With your bachelor's degree, you have so many opportunities for advancement, as well as access to specialty units. A lot of times it's easier to find positions because some hospitals are about magnet status, which we'll get into later, but you just have a lot more opportunities for advancement. That's just really what it comes down to. Now, again, I don't want associate degree nurses coming after me. You can still find positions and you can still advance with an ADN. But let's be honest, the world is changing, and before we know it, they're going to require nurses to have a master's degree before they'll even hire them. And unfortunately, that's not my rule. That's not your rule. It's just the rule of our society, unfortunately. But let's talk about ADN. So, can you find a position with an ADN? Absolutely. You can definitely find a position with ADN. Can you find a specialty position as an ADN nurse coming out of school? Yes. But a lot of the times it's much harder. Specialty areas such as the ER, where I'm at, labor and delivery, ICU, anything kind of neonatal or pediatrics, a lot of the times they want nurses to have bachelor's degree because of magnet. Jennifer, are you telling me they're handing out magnets to people when they get hired? No, I'm not telling you that. Magnet is called Magnet because it is a recognition program that was developed by the American Nursing Credentialing Center. Basically, what is Magnet? Magnet, as defined by the ANCC, is a healthcare recognition of healthcare organizations for quality patient care, nursing excellence, and innovations in professional nursing practice. What does that mean? Okay. So what that means is certain hospitals have to meet Magnet status. Usually they have to hire a certain amount of bachelor's degrees and a certain amount of ADN degrees in order to qualify for Magnet, but it's a recognition of the hospital for giving quality care, meaning that for years, sometimes a long time, they have to be witnessed by Magnet approved people, I don't know what you call them, but they come to the hospital and they do surveys. They do surveys on patients. They do surveys on patient records. They do surveys on nurses. They do surveys on management. They do surveys on administration, because they don't hand out magnet status willy-nilly. That's just what it comes down to. So in order to get magnet status, they need to hire more bachelor degree prepared nurses. And usually the hospitals that are looking to hire or to seek magnet status are hospitals of specialty. For example, one of the hospitals I worked at sought magnet status in their women's and children's area, which is a very highly specialized area. Now, they did hire new graduate nurses with ADNs out of school in those areas, but that would be 1 to say 8 bachelor's degree prepared nurses. So why would you want to get your associate's degree versus your bachelor's degree? Regardless of your career goals, you have to start somewhere. So if you get accepted into an associate's degree program, pursue it. Don't quit that program, because you need that program. You can always pursue your bachelor's at a later time. They call it RN to BSN. Once you get your NCLEX and you get that beautiful piece of paper in your hand saying, yes, I'm a nurse, then you can go for your BSN. And it doesn't take that long. It's, I believe, 2 more years after the 2 years that you put in for your associate's degree, but trust me, it's totally worth it. Or you could just be the type of person that wants to get their associate's degree, get their experience, and then say travel or do something else. Maybe you don't want any kind of advancement in your career regarding management or administration or things of that nature, and that's okay too. That's great. We need more travel nurses. We need people with experience. I am a travel nurse. They need it. I've been to these hospitals. They need people with experience. So no matter what your career goals are, it's really up to you what it is that you want to do. And again, I don't want you coming back at me and saying, Jennifer, you're saying ADNs can't be seeking management positions? Yes. Yes, you can. I promise. They're there. Trust me, I've seen many ADN prepared nurses that have been in nursing education as educators. They've also been A&Ms, assistant nurse managers on floors. The positions are there. But regardless, there is opportunity for everyone. Because of who I am, I always recommend getting your bachelor's. It's not that much more schooling, and it's completely worth it. And it does open your eyes and your heart to a lot more doors, and opportunities. This is going to kind of end my discussion regarding the associate's degree as well as the bachelor's degree. But if you have any questions, please, please, please leave your questions down below. I love answering them. Give me a big thumbs up for this video to make sure that I'm doing a good job explaining everything to y'all. Follow me on my social media. I got a blog, www.creationrn.com, where I go more in depth in regards to all the subjects that I post on YouTube. I also have Instagram. I've got Twitter. I've got Facebook. You can find me in all of those places, Creations RN. I hope you all have a wonderful night, a wonderful morning, depending on what time you all watch this. Oh, my future, my current, my past RNs, my men, my women, I love y'all. We need y'all. Have a good night. Bye-bye.